Welcome back, WNST, Taos of Baltimore and Baltimore Positive. We are positively at Costas Inn. We are in Dundalk, my homeland. We're really on the Sparrows Point side or the Patapsco side, which, you know, I'd let that slide because we still call it Dundalk here. It even says Dundalk right here, established 1971. I got all sorts of Dundalk people down here, and I this isn't a mistake. I mean, I had empty segments during the week, and I threw out notes, even though I haven't even checked my email because I've been doing live radio, and things have been going wrong, and things have been going right, and they made me cry a little while ago, and then I finally got some soup. I wolfed down a cup of soup here. We're calling this a cup of soup or bowl. I wolfed down a cup of soup that I'm convinced is a bowl. Because, I mean, if the cup was that big at Costas, I don't know how big the bowl is going to be. But I got it all down. My friend Rick Johnson stopped by here, a former associate of mine here at NST many, many years ago to give some love. We got Dundalk people coming by. I got St. John's Pantry coming. It's all brought to you by the Maryland Lottery, 10 times the cash. I feel like Oprah, I like giving those away, so I'm giving them away. Our friends at Window Nation, 866-90Nation, great sponsors of ours. Get some doors, get some windows, 0% financing for 5 years, and, of course, Jiffy Lube Multi-Care. I'll give a shout-out to Wise and our Wise Conversations and Royal Farms and everybody that inspired this. Poor Leonard Raskin he's suffering right now over in Wailea in Maui on the greatest beach in the United States of America, enjoying himself. So he couldn't be here this week. So I want to give him some love as well, Raskin Global, who's been seeing all of our stuff out online. So I give this shout-out this week to try to get people. And, like, it's Dundalk. People just show up. And when they show up from Dundalk, turns out that, like, I know them or their sister, or I went to high school with their sister or whatever. Guy comes up, he's like, I do this thing, and I hope you put me on. And I'm like, well, I'll fit you in at 2 o'clock hours, about an hour ago. So Soup for the Soul, Dundalk.org. Soup for the Soul. How does a Soup for the Soul guy from Dundalk wind up at a cup of soup or bowl? Did your sister tell you about this, David Nagel?
Actually, no. I heard about it through an email that was sent a while back, but our website was down, so we didn't get the email till later. And I responded, hoping that we could figure something out. I just showed up.
Well, here you are, yeah.
Yep. And of course, you being a Dundalk guy is just fit me in, which is perfect, and I appreciate it.
2 years ago, the hottest day of June, my wife and I went up to New York City to see Springsteen right after the plague. And we're walking down about 10th and Broadway outside of this. I collect these. You're a Dundalk guy. I collect these old 77 belt buckles. This is my Van Halen belt buckle. So I collect these. So I go into. This is what I do when I'm in New York. I go around to antique shops and I eat a lot of food I shouldn't eat. Delicious though. I turn the corner and there's Deepak Chopra. And Deepak Chopra is a spiritual leader. You can Google him. People are like, who's that?
No.
And I'm out on the street. It's 110 degrees, and there's friggin' Deepak is standing there on his cell phone all alone. There's nobody around. It was plague and really hot. I mean, we're sweating through our clothes, hydrating, drinking water. And I went up, and I'm like, are you Deepak? He said, yes, I'm like, can you take a picture? Took a picture. And I wasn't starstruck. I was just a little like, what are the odds, right?
Right.
He went his way, we went ours. He was very sweet. He was very pleasant. I said, I appreciate all your wisdom, and I try to use it. And the thing I should have said to him is my favorite piece of Deepak Chopra wisdom is this. Infinite flexibility is the key to immortality. If you want to live forever, you need to be infinitely flexible. And that's pretty deep when you think we turn to dust when we're all gone, right?
Absolutely.
So I've tried to think I'm infinitely flexible. Just to bring that full circle. So infinitely flexible means, like, I go with the flow.
Right.
So even though some things broke down here this morning, and I still got to get my American Cancer Society friends onto the air, and Leah Bittinger stopped by today, and we got her on the air talking about these animals in Dundalk and in Essex on the east side of town. I don't know. I reached to you, so obviously I wanted to book you onto the program. So you're not, like, completely, like, hijacking the thing, right? I mean, literally. And I think I reached to you because it was Soup for the Soul. Somebody reached to me, maybe it was your sister, and said, there's a thing called Soup for the Soul in Dundalk, and you're doing a soup thing. You should have my brother by. But it is good to have you. Do I know you? I feel like I must know you. Are you older than me or younger than me?
Well, I'm younger by 3 years.
So were we ever walking in Dundalk High School at the same time?
Yes, the year that you graduated.
So you were, because I know of you. When you gave me your name, I'm like, you're Suzanne's brother. and, you know, I've known Suzanne forever. And But I would have known you better had we been the same. You sure you didn't drink beer at King Street on my house? Well, I mean, everybody younger did. Past the age of,
I don't want to incriminate anybody.
Well, the red light went on at 428 Kane Street.
That's
and,
right.
That was trouble. Everybody knew that. But
Absolutely.
what is Soup for the Soul, Dundalk? Give me a lowdown on this.
Soup for the Soul Dundalk is a way that we help the community with food insecurities. It started out at St. Rita's, called St. Rita's Supper Table 40 years ago. And it started when the factories around here started closing down, and people just needed help, or they wanted somebody to sit down and eat something with because they were kind of shut-ins. And that was 40 years ago. And we're still going
I was
strong.
here 40 years ago. You were here. I was at St. Rita's 40 years ago.
Exactly.
Chasing the girls over there.
So do you know Mary Catherine Haynes?
I know her name, and I think we're Facebook friends.
Okay. So we call her Mama Cass. She is the one who actually guided us into, my wife and I, into this. Stacy my wife is on a cruise right now with her mom. So she's not able to be here.
Mary Catherine Haynes and I, we share 17 mutual friends. I'm looking at it on here. Yep. Yeah, I know who she is. Yep. Actually, 42 mutual friends. There she is.
That's her. Yep. So her
God's time is the right time.
Exactly.
There you go.
Exactly. So when she started, her parents started, it was just for like when the steel mill started closing down, GM closed down, Ma Bell closed down, all these.
She's got good friends, man.
She's
got
friends
awesome
with Binky.
Friends. She's got. She's Todd Crandall. Like Heather Hollingsworth. Look, all my friends are friends with her.
That's right. So she's a very good person, and she's the one that pushed us into organizing with St. Rita's Supper Table. When St. Rita started downsizing, we moved to another church, and we picked up the name Soup for the Soul. That was in 2018. So we've been operating under Soup for the Soul since 2018. We service about 350 people a week for food insecurities. So they come
Look
to
at how good you turned out.
I know.
Look, isn't that
awesome.
nice?
Everybody in
I'm glad
Dundalk
you
is
came
good.
on the show, dude. This is good. So I don't want you feeling guilty about hijacking the show. That was the whole point. So go ahead.
So what we do is people who need help with food, clothes, or anything that they need help with, they come to us, and we try and help as much as we can. And we do that. Everything that we do is 100% volunteer. Not one person gets paid. And everything that we get is 100% donated, except for rent, BG&E, and bills like that. So that's what we're doing. 350 people, households a week come to us for assistance. Everybody walks away with enough groceries for a week to tide them over.
I love being from Dundalk, and I love that I'm in Dundalk all the time. I'm here all the time. But,
right.
We've all seen the challenges, but I love talking about Trade Point, different things that are happening here, better things that are happening. My son lives here. My son lives in my childhood home, dressed up the neighborhood. A lot of Hispanic folks moved into the neighborhood.
Yes.
Loving their families, loving being in America, loving being a part of here, and the way my family loved being here, the way every immigrant family have been the backbone of this country.
Absolutely.
Immigrants were the backbone of Bethlehem Steel.
Absolutely.
Literally, that's how we all got here.
That's it.
Right?
Yep.
So I don't want to say that we don't have our challenges over here, and I want to give a plug. And I don't know if Steve Show is going to show up today from Ekabin, but he did this thing with Vice, with Mr. Costas here, and with Pete and Nick, that they featured Dundalk. If you haven't seen it yet, you got to see it.
I'll have to look at it.
2 weeks old. It's brand new. You haven't missed it yet.
Okay.
But it just previewed on Vice a couple weeks ago. It's a food thing they do on Vice. Vice Network's a great TV show,
right.
Channel. But Steve runs Ekabin, and it's one of my favorite restaurants in town. I've only met him one time. There's a rumor he may show up here today.
Oh,
so
okay.
that could happen, too. But he did the piece, and he is a son of an immigrant as well and a restaurateur. And he fell in love with Costas, and I didn't know it until Saturday night. I was home literally Saturday. My wife and I watched this. It's 11 minutes long. It's a segment from a TV show. It's just a 1 minute. It's a one segment, and it's all about the Costas story and Mr. Costas coming here with $5 in his pocket from Greece.
Correct.
And building this.
Yep.
Right? And the people he's built it with and his family, and you've met his children, you've met his grandchildren in here, you've met him in here. He already came by and said hello to me, even though he ducks me on the air. At some point I'll try to get him on. But he was a part of this. And the story of Dundalk and of the plant and all the stuff we've lived. My father worked at the plant. My father died of mesothelioma and all of that, right?
Right.
And Angelos didn't give me a nickel for what it's worth. But we're doing okay.
Right.
But how the community's changed. And I come here and I see my son living his life here and his wife living their life here. And I go over to my high school that ain't my high school anymore. I can tell you. I mean,
exactly.
They destroyed the old high school, and they built this forward-thinking, beautiful, be a great place to go every day, like as I see it, you know?
That's too small now.
It's too small. Now, okay, well, we'll add some trailers in the back like we used to.
Right, they did.
Right, and Colgate is all brand new.
Yep.
Right? I mean, they had trailers up there, but now it's all brand new. And my son's like, we built a new school in my neighborhood. Well, we're not leaving. You know, I'm going to see
Right.
this through. So people saying they're going to see stuff. I don't know what East Point Mall is going to be when it's going to be. I know the poops man still smell like poops. Like, Todd Crandall, I'm looking for you. I blame it on Todd. It's not Todd's fault. But, you know, I mean, Todd comes here and tries to fix it, you know.
Yeah, he does.
But, you know, you grew up with Todd. Well,
Yep.
you're young, dude.
I know Todd really
little
well.
Nagel
I
siblings.
I know. Well, I knew Miss Jackie, Todd's stepmom, and I know
Todd's
Mr.
pop,
Crandall.
of course, yeah.
Everybody knows
Wrestling
him.
coach.
Yep, exactly.
Everybody knew Bob.
So yeah, exactly. So, and I worked with Todd when he was
This is
campaigning.
Baltimore, dude. It's
It
what
is
it's about,
Baltimore,
man.
exactly.
Sometimes I meet new people like the doctor here, and Misty, and different new. And then sometimes it's like, you know, some guy that maybe drank beer at my house in high school or something.
Maybe
not. I
maybe
don't know.
not.
You probably did. I'm thinking about it. David Nagel is here. Soup for the Soul Dundalk is the way to go. But I'm so proud of Dundalk and the things that are going the right direction.
Yep.
And people like you come here and talk these great stories and things you're doing, and we see schools getting built, and we see Trade Point coming. It's never going to be the plan again. That's fine. You know, I mean, but we're resilient people down here,
Right.
And
So-
we want what's best for our families. And I love the story on Vice because it really captured like what we're about.
Yeah, Dundalk is very. It's a unique area. And I've always said this, when Dundalk sees somebody hurting, we make sure that we help that person get back to where they were, if not better. And we see that, especially with Trade Point. So my father-in-law used to work down at Trade Point. He was down there his whole career. Was the union president for 2609.
You mean Bethlehem Steel?
Yeah.
Oh, you said Trade Point, but okay. But Bethlehem.
It's now Trade
Right,
Point.
of course, yeah.
So it came full circle. I work down at Trade Point now. I work at Under Armour, and it's just not the same, but it is the
God,
same.
I just told your story.
So-
like I didn't really realize you. I see you're wearing a UA. I didn't realize you worked down there. So
Yeah.
I've already gave you a shout out for how cool this is.
Yeah, it
What's
is.
an even better story that you work at Trade? Okay, have you been down to the Museum of Industry to see the Bethlehem Steel exhibit that they have there?
I have not, but I knew it was down.
Go.
When it was down at Trade Point, because I had it at Trade Point for a little while. When they had the building there, and they just moved it all up. So
I got to
we-
get
we
Aaron
gotta
back
go.
on the show. Aaron Tamarchio from down there.
Yes.
Yeah, he sat in with us before, so I should have invited him today. I got you.
You got me.
You're Mr. Trade. How many people are working at Trade Point? Do you even know?
I have no idea.
mean, you've seen it grow,
It's
though.
not as much as Bethlehem Steel and the shipyard had, but it's growing, and they keep building and they keep building. And I tell you, you hear people say, yeah, but they're not sustainable jobs. They are. We really are. I know I can speak for UA that we take care of our teammates impeccably, and it warms my heart to see the full circle come around, because when we were growing up, we saw it all tumble down,
And there was nothing.
Yeah. And now my warehouse in which I work is where the largest coke oven ever was in the world. That's where my plant is, and that's where my father-in-law worked. It's just a little different now, just a different industry.
Well, you know, it's really weird. I walked in here this morning with my son about 7:30 this morning, and I don't know. My son's old enough. Do you remember they were open for breakfast here at Costas for years? Well, it was always open for breakfast because the Point would let out. It's on the 7 o'clock shift. And this was all in the Vice stories. You're going to love that 11-minute. Please, go watch that Vice piece on Costas. I mean, even if you've ever been here, had a crab, met anybody here, I could sit here and tell the story, but it was beautiful. It was 11 minutes. It's cool. But part of it was that they would come here and have breakfast. And I think to myself, you're not 3 shifts down there in that way where. And my wife, we drove home the other night. My wife had a couple of cocktails Saturday night. So I did the driving home. And we got up North Point Boulevard, and I made the right on Cove and took 695. And I got out on the freeway, and she must have been screwing. You know what she was doing? She was eating the chocolate mousse that Karen gave her to take home.
Okay.
So she had a spoon, and she had a couple drinks. She was loose. She was feeling fun. She was funny. Right. So she's in the passenger seat eating her chocolate. She's like, hey, I'm lost. Where are we? And I'm like, no, I got off North Point Road, and I just got on. And then all of a sudden, she saw the poop plant. She saw the Walmart. You know what I mean?
Right,
the farmer's
right.
market. She's like, oh, yeah, we take that road sometimes on the way down. She's from New Hampshire, but she's been here a million times. But I always take North Point Boulevard as a habit. I
Yep.
just get off, and that's the way I go. I don't get on to 690. I get off of 695 because I'm from Dundalk, and it's the way I go. I don't know, explain why. But I went back that way, and it freaked her all out. And I said to her, it's a really weird spaghetti loop of roads up by the mall and where the Walmart is. I said to her, do you realize when the road was built in 1965 or so? It was built before I was alive.
Yes.
That road has existed before, and I would have been on it I lived a mile from there, grew up a mile from there. I said to her, do you realize how many cars there were coming into Dundalk that we needed two roads?
Absolutely.
You needed a highway and you needed, like Ritchie Highway and 97, right?
Right.
Because there were 70,000 people, a stadium full of people every day going in and out, and Costas was perfectly located to get a beer, get breakfast, get eggs and bacon, get some food to take home.
Cash your check.
Cash your check, get
Yep.
whiskey.
Yep, exactly.
Glad you brought up the cash your check part.
Absolutely.
So, because he talked a lot about that. And people come here, cash your check, and they get a beer, and they have breakfast.
Yep.
And I hope it gets busy enough that this joint's got to open for breakfast. And we don't have to go to
Absolutely.
Scoozy. No offense to Scoozy. But,
No offense, excuse me. But yeah, so the way
I'm giving all my Dundalk shout-outs today.
that's
I'm
good.
plugging
That's good.
everybody.
You need to.
I'm plugging everybody.
The reason why Soup for the Soul exists is because of the community. The community gives us the product that we need to give out to the community. So when I say the
Like that.
community,
Like,
exactly like that.
We've got a whole table full of canned goods here. Thank you for everybody that participated in helping
Absolutely.
us out this week. It's beautiful.
So like Wise Supermarket used to be Mars. Wise donates to us. Giant, Redner's, all these companies that have
Wise
stuff that's
is my sponsor, and they're just great people.
They are.
They're just great people.
They are.
Just top to bottom, everything I've done with Wise Markets over 3 years as a sponsor, someone that funds this and allows me to feed my family. I love Wise Markets, and I love that they answer your call.
They do. Every week we get something from them, it's awesome. It allows us to do what we do. And we also have friends in the community like Reliability Home Services who assist us also whenever
What does
they can.
Reliability Home Services do?
So Reliability Home Services is air conditioning, heating, plumbing, all your needs that you need for housing, for that kind of stuff. When we got the building that we're in now, which is at 299 Willow Spring Road in St. Helena, we got a shell
St.
of...
Helena? I ain't going to St. Helena. We never went to St. Helena back in the day.
Well, yeah.
I'm just kidding. We always gave St. Helena a hard time.
Of course, because it's
St. Helena.
It's that line. It's that line.
That's the other side of Dundalk
That's the
Avenue.
other side of Dundalk, right? It's the other
Don't
side
tell
of the
Don I
tracks.
said that. Don will be mad at me. I've had plenty of beers on that side of. What's the little airport in over there?
Yeah, now it's called the. It was the port side. It was the airport in.
I sought shelter. This is a beautiful story. My best friend in the world growing up, a guy named Robert DeBilius. Don't see him too often anymore, but he lost his nephew a couple weeks ago. It's awful. But he was my best friend growing up. So we were at Heritage Fair, and we bumped into each other, which you do at Heritage Fair. You know?
Exactly.
So I'm at Heritage Fair. It was a year and a half ago.
In the beer garden?
How'd you know? No. Right. Yeah. So we were in a beer garden, and the storm came up, 4th of July. And my wife wasn't there that night. My wife must have been out. I don't know. But I was alone that night. Maybe it was the Crack the Sky I was playing. It was a band. But we had to get the hell out of there. We got out, and on the way out, Rob says to me, "I'll text you from the car. We'll get a beer." I'm like, okay. We hadn't had a beer together in, I don't know, 10 years, a long time, you know what I mean?
Right.
And we sought shelter, and he said, meet me at the, text me, meet me there. I'm like, where the hell's that? Is that down Bat River Neck Road? I don't know, airport. And sure enough, it's 6 blocks into St. Helena. And we went in there, and Brillhart was throwing a party in there. Brillhart had, and he was inebriated, and he had some question. It was a music question about bands that had played M3. And I got the answer with the help from I had local help as well, so I want to give a shout out. But I won a free ticket the next day to the Heritage Fair.
That's awesome.
And I felt like I really don't. So I had cold beer that night. I got to reconnect with one of my best friends, and I won a free ticket the next day. So I don't want to. I feel bad that I shat upon St. Helena, so I'll take that back on St. Helena. You've been good to me. You had McDonald's on your side. Thank you.
That's right.
All right.
That's right.
And Pinland was on that side.
And Pinland,
So,
yep.
I'm just saying. Had assets. Got a Rofo over there, too. So.
Yeah. We're
Fried
about
chicken.
We're
Rick,
about
appreciate you, brother. Got an old friend stopping by in Dundalk. Thanks, bro.
we're about 2 blocks away from the Royal Farm on the St. Helena side. So Reliability Home is the one that actually came in. We bought this building, and we had one bathroom. We wanted to put a second bathroom in. Reliability stepped up, did all the labor for free to put in a new restroom.
So what do you do in your it is a soup kitchen?
No, it's a pantry.
It's a pantry.
Yes.
Okay. Or you don't cook food, you deliver food.
Every once in a while, we do cook food, but we don't deliver. We don't have that capability.
Right.
It takes money.
Take it home, you have a stove, cook it, put it in the microwave, you're ready to do it. Right?
And if you don't have a stove, we know that we have ways to help you cook.
Okay,
So-
sure. Okay.
So it's like I said, we help people sustain for a week with groceries, with all types of groceries, meats, cheeses, cereals, milks. The kids come through, they get candy and stuff like that. So it's huge. And out of that little building, what we do and what we accomplish it just makes me proud. And I'm not
I
going to
feel
lie.
like I want to shine a spotlight on you, man. I'm proud of you, dude. Like your sister, you've
wait a
been a
minute.
great guy. I can't believe I made you wait. You should have wrote me back last week. I'd have given you a real slot. Poor St. John's people here holding on. I'm hearing stories.
Oh, they're eating crabs,
That made me
right?
cry. Yeah, but I already cried twice today. I'm not going to cry anymore.
So I don't do a lot up there. I come up here and I talk. My wife is the backbone of that. She does everything. She's there 7 days a week. I'm there 2 times a week, maybe. But it's very important that we.
Well, you've been a
continue
good
this.
spokesperson, Dave. David Nagel's here. I think he drank beer in my house in Kane Street back in the 80s. Probably did. A little younger than me, but his sister and I were pals forever and still are pals all these years later. And I remember seeing her at like a Little League thing I emceed like 15 years ago down at like Logan Village. Does that sound right?
Yes, that sounds exactly
that sounds
right. Yeah.
But we were on the same committee for Class of '85 at Dundalk.
Yep.
They put me in the Dundalk Hall of Fame, dude.
I know that's. Anyway.
Way oversight. What a mistake.
But look at you. You're doing such a good thing for the community right now, getting all these shout-outs to everybody.
I had Paul Satterfield by the principal, and you are a Dundalk High grad, right?
Yes,
Okay.
of course.
So listen.
Mr. Dausch.
Right. Who we lost, the great GPD.
God bless him. Yes.
Good morning.
Have
and
a better day.
Yeah, thank you. It's good. I knew we'd do that. I was on the school announcement team, as you can well imagine. Dundalk High, I've only been in there once since they remodeled it.
Since they made it the
And
mall.
it was the night they put me in the Hall of Fame, and I gave a lousy speech, and I cried, and it was awful, and I didn't do a very good job. I see these people doing Grammy speeches, and I'm thinking, I have one chance in my life to give a Hall of Fame speech. They're not putting me in anything else, ever.
Oh, you never know.
Might get back in the Oriole press box, which is something I never thought about doing. But so I'm trying to get some alums together because it sounds like you've been into school lately, right? You got kids that go there or something like that?
I used to, yeah. My son just graduated from there.
So, I've been there one time. I had the principal here about 3 months ago, and I said, we need to do a night in the spring that's like a homecoming. That doesn't have to do with a football. Just everybody wants to come down and see the school and be proud of it. Every Dundalk High grad who's not been in that school would freak out. Like they should fly home from wherever they live just to tour it because it would blow their minds. They
Absolutely.
would be so proud of being from Dundalk.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's and they're actually starting construction on Dundalk High School again to build it more.
I got to get Johnny O on. It's Crandall's fault. I'll blame somebody.
It's Crandall.
Got to blame somebody.
It's all Crandall.
I'm the unofficial mayor of
Just
Dundalk.
kidding, Todd.
No, where's Todd? Is he listening?
He's not here. He's probably listening.
Nobody listens. Nobody listens to this show. Trust me. Soup for the Soul, Dundalk.org.
.org. Yes, sir.
All right. Your email will get to me a month from now, about the same time my email got to you.
Well, yeah. Well, we're still working through some things with the
All right.
website. So.
Look, yell at me one day. I'll come down and get a beer at Donna's or something. Or what is meet at Costas over here? Come on, man.
Right here at Costas.
I went to Drug City on Saturday. I had dinner here Saturday, and I went to Drug City Saturday. And I told my son this morning. I've said it once or twice on the air. I had never really thought about the end of the Angelos thing. Like, I thought about it a lot. I obviously did Free the Birds, and I've been outspoken about their creepiness and how awful they are as human beings. But I never thought, like, who's going to be the next person, the next thing? How would I feel about it? How could I feel about the Oriole bird again? And, like, all that. So I went to Drug City tonight, and I haven't bought anything expensive and treated myself in a while. And I was actually talking to Wendy Bronfine from Curio Wellness. Is there a cannabis champagne? Is there a champagne? I need some champagne. I'm going to put something on ice. And I said to my wife, I don't like champagne that much to, like, spend $100 on a bottle of champagne. But I like red wine. So I went, and I'm going to splurge for a celebratory bottle of red. Well, red wine's a great celebration drink, right?
Sure.
So I went over, and I got a $60 bottle, the most expensive bottle of wine I've ever bought. It's called The Prisoner. So, and it's delicious. I've had it before. Marvin Lewis gets me good wine when I'm with him. So, when I open it, we're going to release The Prisoner. I feel like I've been in jail since July of 1993.
Yes. And I'm happy to say that I'm happy that the Angelos era is over. Error. Yes, error is over. And I'm looking forward to good things through the Orioles.
Well, I'm going to go to a ball game with you and your kids, Suzanne. We'll get it all together, all right?
Yeah, Suzanne's down in Florida now. She lives
for her.
right outside of Disney. Her daughter works at Disney, so they go to Disney all the time.
Tell her I'm coming down to Epcot to drink around the world with her, all right?
Absolutely.
All right.
She'll do it.
I'm only going to do it when there's a good band in the pavilion, so.
All right.
Good bands are relevant. My son, Rick Springfield's playing next month. Richard Marx is playing. My dude, Mike Del Judas is playing. The little thing. So my son likes Disney, so we've never been to Disney together. He won't take me to Disney. Things happen down there.
Suzanne will take you to Disney. She'll get you in for free. Don't worry about it.
I want to go Soarin' again is what I want to do.
Soarin' was awesome.
That's the best, isn't it?
Yes,
I got to take a break. I got St. John's Pantry here. I have other guests coming by. I got a lot of people. I think this is Trish Woodward. I'm going to make you wait a couple of minutes because I can't. You're the highlight of the day for me. So you already know this.
Wow.
Trish and I were in Oliver in 1982 at Colgate Elementary School. I don't know her. I haven't seen her. I expected her to still be 12. And she's not. I said, so I started doing the math on this, and I'm like, she might be like 50. Because I'm like 55, and she's probably 5 years younger than me, even though she feels like she should be 42 years younger than me. But she's not. So we're going to have fun with her. And I have the St. John's Pantry folks here. Karen Leventis, Whitney, John. They have the Friends for Supper Ministry, and they're having a heck of a supper here at Costas. They got a lot of folks, so I can't wait to meet them. Thank you. Appreciate you. I'm glad I got you in.
I appreciate you doing that for me.
I feel like I'm in Dundalk today. This is perfect. All right. It's all brought to you by the Maryland Lottery. This is still your lottery ticket. I'm just borrowing it for display. 10 times the cash is the way to do this. Our friends at Window Nation, as well as Jiffy Lube. He mentioned Wise Markets. I'm going to mention Royal Farms. All of our sponsors, Leonard Raskin, our friends here at Costas. We're going to be at Coco's on Wednesday. We're going to be at State Fair on Thursday. We're going to be at Pappas on Friday, where I'm going to lose my voice. I've only cried 2.5 times here today. Over-under's like 2 a day. I think I went over here today a little bit. You kind of got me a little bit there with the Dundalk thing. But we're going to come back. We're going to continue on doing good things, telling good stories, collecting not just soup for the soul, but food for the pantries here in the Maryland Food Bank. You bring the food, we give you a cup of soup or bowl. I know it's clever.